Ever wondered how you'd fare alone in the wilderness with nothing but your wits to rely on? It's a thought that has crossed most minds, especially in this age of adventure and exploration. The wilderness, in all its raw, untamed beauty, holds an allure that is both thrilling and intimidating. It's a place where the rules of modern society no longer apply, where the conveniences of our everyday lives are stripped away, and we are left to rely on nothing but our skills, instincts, and determination. Wilderness survival is a concept that has been gaining traction in recent years. It's more than just a trend or a hobby, it's a lifestyle, a mindset, a testament to the human spirit's resilience and adaptability. More and more people are seeking to break free from the monotony of their 9-to-5 routines, to test their mettle against the elements, to experience the exhilaration of conquering challenges that Mother Nature throws their way. From getting lost on a hiking trail to finding oneself stranded in the heart of an unknown forest, survival scenarios are as diverse as they are unpredictable. One might be faced with harsh weather conditions, dangerous wildlife, or the daunting task of finding food and water. The wilderness doesn't discriminate, and it doesn't offer second chances. That's why being prepared, both mentally and physically, is of utmost importance. But survival isn't just about enduring hardships, it's about thriving, about harnessing the wilderness's resources, about turning adversity into an opportunity. It's about learning to build a shelter from scratch, to start a fire with nothing but sticks and stones, to navigate using the stars or tech devices, or to identify which plants are edible and which ones aren't. It's about understanding the language of the wild, about becoming one with nature, about finding a sense of freedom and empowerment that is hard to come by in the concrete jungles of our cities. So, let's delve into the world of survival techniques, a world where knowledge, ingenuity, and resilience can mean the difference between life and death. Imagine you're stranded in the wilderness. The first thing you'd need is shelter, your home away from home, your fortress against the elements. In the great outdoors, your shelter is more than just a roof over your head. It's a statement of your resourcefulness, your survival instinct kicking in to protect you from the harsh realities of nature. Building a shelter is an art and a science, a dance between what nature provides and how you can best use it to your advantage. Let's delve into the different techniques of building a shelter using only what the wilderness offers. The materials you have at your disposal might be as simple as branches, leaves, and rocks, but with the right knowledge, these can become your sanctuary. Choosing the right location for your shelter is crucial. You need to consider factors such as proximity to a water source, the direction of prevailing winds, and the likelihood of natural disasters like flooding or avalanches. It's a game of strategy, where every decision could be a matter of life or death. There are numerous types of shelters you can construct, each tailored to specific climate conditions. In a temperate forest, a lean-to shelter built with a sturdy branch and leaf cover could provide ample protection. For harsher, colder climates, a snow cave or an igloo might be your best bet. In tropical environments, a raised platform shelter can keep you safe from ground-dwelling creatures and dampness. Think of your shelter as an extension of yourself, a reflection of your survival instincts. It's not just about creating a physical space to sleep, but also about crafting a psychological fortress, a place where you feel safe and secure. Building a shelter is a skill that takes time and practice to master. But once you've got the hang of it, it can be a game changer. It's the difference between a night spent shivering under the stars and a night tucked away in a cozy, protective cocoon. Remember, your shelter is your first line of defense. Choose wisely, and it could save your life. Fire, it warms us, cooks our food, and lights our way. But in the wilderness, it can also be the spark of life. Let's talk about fire, a primal element as old as time itself, yet paramount in wilderness survival. It's your lifeline, your beacon, your protector from the cold, dark nights. It's the difference between a meal and a mouthful of raw, potentially dangerous food. So, how do we harness this spark of life when we're out in the wild? Well, there are several ways to start a fire with minimal resources. One of the most common methods is the friction-based fire starting technique. This involves creating heat through friction by rapidly rubbing two sticks together. It's not an easy task, but with the right kind of wood and a lot of patience, you can ignite a spark. Another method is the use of a flint and steel, which can produce sparks even in damp conditions. Striking the flint against the steel generates a spark, which can then be caught on a piece of char cloth or other tinder to start a fire. If you're lucky enough to have a lighter or matches, well, you're ahead of the game. But remember, these resources are finite, so use them wisely. Now, starting a fire is one thing, but doing so safely is another. Always clear an area around your fire to prevent it from spreading. Keep it away from dry leaves and branches and never leave it unattended. And when it's time to move on, make sure the fire is completely extinguished. Douse it with water, stir the ashes, and douse it again. Fire can be a lifesaver in the wilderness, but remember, it's a powerful force that needs to be respected. You don't just want to survive in the wilderness, you want to thrive. And fire, when used correctly, can be your ally in this endeavor. There you have it, the spark of life. With fire, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. The wilderness can be a vast, unforgiving larder if you know where to look. When you find yourself in the wilderness, one of the first things you'll need to secure is water. It's a matter of life and death. Water can be found in various places: streams, rivers, ponds, or even dew on plants. But remember, not all water is safe to drink. It can harbor harmful bacteria and parasites. Always purify it before consumption. This can be done by boiling, using purification tablets, or even UV sterilizers. Foraging for food in the wilderness can be a daunting task, but knowing what to search for can make it a lot easier. Edible plants can be a lifesaver. Berries, nuts, and seeds are often plentiful, but be cautious, as not all are safe to eat. Some can even be downright deadly. It's crucial to familiarize yourself with local flora before you go foraging. When it comes to hunting for food, it's all about strategy and patience. Setting up snares and traps can yield small game like rabbits and squirrels. Fishing is another viable option. However, remember that hunting requires energy, so weigh your options carefully. But what about the dangers lurking in the wilderness? Poisonous plants can be a major risk. Some may look tempting but can cause severe illness or even death. It's crucial to know how to distinguish between safe and dangerous plants. Unreliable water sources can also pose a threat. Stagnant water may contain harmful bacteria and parasites. Always opt for flowing water, and remember to purify it before consumption. In short, the wilderness can be an abundant larder, but it can also be unforgiving. It's all about knowledge, preparation, and caution. Surviving in the wilderness is one thing, but how do you get found when you're lost in the middle of nowhere? It's a question that can keep you awake at night, especially if you're an adventurer at heart. But don't worry, we've got you covered. First, let's talk about distress signals. They're your SOS to the world, a beacon for rescuers to find you. Traditional methods include the tried-and-true trio of fires, spaced about 100 feet apart, or even the universal SOS signal in Morse code: 3 short signals, 3 long signals, and 3 short signals again. These can be created using sounds, flashes of light, or even markings on the ground. But we're not just stuck in the Stone Age, are we? We've got tech devices at our disposal. Your cell phone, for instance, is more than just a tool for selfies. It can be your lifeline in the wilderness. Many smartphones come equipped with GPS that can help you navigate back to civilization, or at least pinpoint your location for rescuers. There are also personal locator beacons, compact devices that can send out a distress signal to satellite networks, providing your exact location to rescue teams. If you're in a dense forest or a vast desert, you need to make yourself as visible as possible. Bright clothing, reflective materials, even makeshift flags can make all the difference. In the event of an aerial search, creating large, unnatural shapes or patterns on the ground can catch the eye of search teams. But remember, these techniques are not just about getting found. They're about keeping your spirits up, giving you a sense of control in a situation where you might feel powerless.